And I think the
Mhm.
third part is, I think, not being afraid of work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's probably my biggest advice, actually, now that I'm really thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You and I have talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
In the business world,
Yeah.
there's everyone and their mom thinks that they're a visionary, right? There's the two people that really get me. It's like people who are like, they're visionaries or like the idea guys.
Right.
And a lot of times those are people who like just don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like they just talk about ideas, but then like when
Right.
someone implements their ideas, they're like, "Oh, that was my idea,"
Mm-hmm.
but like it doesn't matter because you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Steve Jobs said it best. I'm not quoting him directly because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to misquote it, but he said he was talking about these guys, the visionaries,
Right.
the idea
Mm-hmm.
guys, and what he said was the best idea guys are the doers.
Mm-hmm.
The doers are the best idea guys
Yeah.
because the idea doesn't freaking matter unless it gets done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why for me, when I got the SBJ,
Mm-hmm.
right, when I was younger, I was an idea guy.
Yeah.
I'm a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have the same visions. I have the same ideas. I just do it. And I don't
Right.
talk about it unless it's something I'm doing.
Hey, this is Jordan Hill, and welcome to the Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. Thank you to the Hotel Salem for sponsoring this episode, and we are still looking for one more sponsor on this podcast. I'm here today with, I feel like there needs to be a drum roll, the one, the only, Jesse Beal.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. I just run in, do an intro.
I know.
have
Yeah.
fireworks.
We should have done it.
Gosh.
That's all right.
Missed opportunity.
Next time, for sure. But yeah, here with you. This podcast is all thanks to you. So I'm
Well, it's thanks
glad
to
we
us.
can hang out today.
It's a team.
Yeah,
Teamwork makes the
that's
dream
right.
work.
I would high five you, but I think we established that,
I'm going to put the arms on the outside next time.
and that's what business is.
We're
Just
thinking about
constantly
that.
learning, evolving.
Constantly changing.
Yeah.
You're right. One little thing. You live and you learn each time you do it.
So Salem Business Journal is up to,
No good. Oh.
I was going to say a lot of things. Who gave this guy a microphone?
I don't know. Bad decision.
But I thought it would be really fun to have you on today just to give a little background of the Salem Business Journal. What do you think about that?
Thank you for having me on. And
Absolutely. My
anything
boss
for you,
let me.
Anything for you, Jordan.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
really
what
just
I
me
like to
being
hear.
like, have me on. You're like, dude, I don't want you on. I'm like, you can't. You have to. This is
Or you're
tyranny.
fired.
Tyranny.
Well, yeah. But I'm doing a really good job or acting excited about it.
Yes, thank you.
Like I want you on. No.
Thank you. Yeah, I need you to put on a show, please. A performance.
It's been, in a few months, it'll be 1 year of us kind of you starting this project and bringing me in.
March was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think January we kind of started.
we talked about it, yeah.
Started
But we
talking
filmed in
about
March.
I know.
So we're at 8 months right now. That's
Pretty
crazy.
exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What is the average length of time until a podcast fizzles out? Do you know that stat? I don't.
I don't. I would assume it's way less than we've been doing it for, though, to be honest, because we've
Yeah.
seen podcasts start and stop since we started this.
That's true.
Like after we started doing podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
everyone and their moms thought, "I have an idea.
Yeah.
We should start a podcast."
I think it's the latest thing. I think the
Yeah.
next thing is going to be making apps.
Therapy. Oh,
that
that should be the next. greatest
should
thing.
have been a while ago. Honestly, a few centuries ago.
Gosh. No, after we started doing the podcasts, which the entire reason we did several podcasts
Mhm.
was simply to divide up the stuff that we write about in Salem Business Journal.
Right.
So in a print paper, it makes sense to have sports next to weather, next to crime, next to business news,
Mhm.
because you can read it and it makes sense.
Right. That's what we've been used to for generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I was taking a print newspaper and turning it into video, I was thinking through, well, how is video
Mhm.
consumed? And if I had everything combined together, it would be chaos. It would be like
Right.
a bad 70s radio show.
Yeah.
And that's just not how people consume
Mm-hmm.
video content.
Right.
So what we did is we divided up the different sections
Mhm.
of the paper, and the Salem Business Journal podcasts being about things that are actually in the articles, like local news and like stuff that's relevant to like current days and events. The Dirt to Sky Business Podcast, which you host, is about helping people improve their businesses,
right,
and helping them with the growth section. So not focused on what happened in the past, it's focused on the future and where your business is going. And then Savvy Talks, when we started about with a high school audience, that all started because a high school kid came to me and said, "Hey, I love your podcast, but everyone's old." And I was like,
fair enough.
Deeply offended. My fragile ego just took a
You're
solid
really
hit.
getting up there in years. I'm not going to lie.
I just turned 30.
Just turned 30.
But so we have the SBJ, which is current events, yours, which is business and looking into the future, Savvy Talk, high school audience. We have the Spanish podcast, which is the SBJ one, but Spanish. AI one, that one needs a little bit more consistency, but that one is for about how to use AI in your business. And then I have a personal project that I've been working on that is just personal passion of mine that I decided to throw in because nobody can tell me no. It's called the Native Podcast, which is going to be released, I believe, probably this week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it.
Oh gosh, this one's a huge like personal passion of mine.
Yeah.
And something that I'm so excited to get off the ground. So the Native Podcast is where I go to different Native American tribes and I interview elders and I interview tribal leaders and talk to them about issues relevant to our people. And we sit down in a location that is a part of that tribe's original land that's historically relevant to them. And when you sit there in this moment and you're talking about these issues, you can feel like the power of our ancestors, and it's just, you can just feel it as well. And so what I try to do is, like in the intro of the podcast, capture some of the environment around us, which you can't really feel it like you can when you're there in person.
Right.
But it's the closest you can get.
Yeah.
And so what I try my best to do is by shooting in a place where nobody in their right mind would film a podcast out in the wilderness, also kind of capturing in the introduction some of the original land and the area that we're in, that way the audience can kind of feel like they're a part of it. Now, it's a little artsy-fartsy to do that. It's not really necessary, but I just think it's so powerful. And I'm really excited for this to come out and share this with people, because it's just something I've been working on for months, and it's something I'm really passionate about.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I know. I'm excited to see it come out. I was present for some of the recordings.
Yeah, like in Seattle.
Yeah. I remember being on that cliff and there were bald eagles everywhere. Like, okay.
Yes. So we have some footage of a bald eagle. And so like the drone that I have, we had it very far away, so we weren't disturbing it. But we were able to zoom in enough with this drone. The zoom on these things is crazy. And it's so hard to capture that exact moment. But we got a couple clips of that eagle that I was really excited about.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when you decided to do these podcasts and the way that you decided to do them, one with each type of, whether it's news or whatever, was that your original idea? Did you take that from somewhere? Like, how did that even start? Because I know for sure a lot of papers have not done this. So
yeah, it was kind of crazy. Well, the thought started with the other side of the business, which we haven't talked much about, and that's the actual news. So I bought an actual newspaper when I was in college with one of my best friends. And we did it to help make our community better. I mean, that was the goal and sole purpose of doing this, right? So the podcast is just kind of like a side product of the actual business.
Right.
Now it's a fun one. It's exciting and it's a lot more shiny. But the actual business of the business is the actual news. And so it started off with us looking at, okay, well, how can we get our news articles in a format that's easily digestible for a younger audience? And that was video format. And so it started off with the idea of filming, short clips, a minute or less, summarizing kind of what the articles are about. And then putting a link to it in there so that people can go read the article should they choose to, because the articles spend way more time and money to make than the video does.
Right.
And we do a really good job. Like if you go read a lot of our articles, we do like real investigative journalism.
Right.
Like we did one recently on like a daycare where, I actually included actual receipts to, you can go look at the actual evidence. Like I try my best to do that when and where I can. And I'm not perfect, right? There's been times when I've gotten things like facts wrong, and when I have, I've gone and corrected them.
Is that something that happens in newspapers?
What?
Having facts wrong?
Well, what happens a lot of times is, and this is something I experienced when I was in office, is they'll have a slant.
Okay.
Well, there's two things. One of them is they'll have a slant, and two, they'll blatantly get things wrong and not care.
And slant just means they're biased? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, when I was running for office, I was like 20, 21 years old, somewhere in there. And the Willamette Weekly posted an article about me saying that, like, I was pro-guns. I wanted guns on schools. It had my zone that I was running in wrong, my name wrong, this my age wrong. I had every 5 or 6 basic facts wrong.
Oh, wow.
Where if you spent 2 seconds looking into me, you would realize, no phone call to me, by the way. And so there's things like that where they blatantly get things wrong and then just refuse to acknowledge it. I don't even need you to acknowledge it. Just please fix it, you know? But then there was a couple other times where I was serving in office. In fact, when I was in office, I actually left the political party I was in because I wanted to better serve my tribe and to better serve kids and to better serve our community. I realized the importance of focusing on the facts and on the issues instead of the party. And I found sometimes when you join a party, it's so easy, especially when you're involved like I am, to get tangled up and to get brought in. And I just really felt like, for me, the best thing for me to do was to become independent. And I did. And, it was super helpful to me because then I made it very clear to everybody that you can't buy me. You can't influence me. I tried my best to base everything off of facts and make decisions that way, you know? And how I think you could probably tell I was doing a good job was the right would get mad at me sometimes and the left would get mad at me sometimes. And, there's just a couple times when things got hyper political, right? When I wasn't even doing something, someone else on the school board was doing something. Some of the other local papers would write an article and it clearly has a slant. Or you go into, I was trying to get an endorsement from a couple of these papers. And you go in there and you're not going to get it. Just because if you're not...
What's an endorsement with paper?
An endorsement from the paper is them saying, hey, you telling people you should vote for this candidate.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was I went into it knowing I wasn't going to get it, which sucks. But even though there's nothing I can say or do to do it. And you go in there and you kind of know.
Yeah.
And it sucks because
do you go in there of your own free will?
Yeah.
Or
of course you do. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's the papers believe a certain ideology and they're going to tell things a certain way. And you kind of already know that going in. But I still showed up every single time. Every time I was invited to a debate, every time I was invited to speak to people, I would show up. Even if I knew the people there was no winning them over. There was this one time Luce put on a debate. No other person who wasn't a part of the far left, no other person showed up except for me.
Wow.
And
Take some guts.
Yeah, and I went in there knowing exactly what I was walking into. But I was able to do that because if I'm following my heart and what's right and the truth, and I try my best to do that, then nothing could push that away. You know what I mean? There's no amount of mud you can sling at me that'll stop me from being able to pursue what's right. And so I tried my best to do that. And thankfully, I think because of that approach, I came out of office with a lot of people who once saw me as an enemy simply because of a party affiliation or because, on certain issues we would disagree on the policy. But we came out of this with a lot of them as my friends. And I think that's one thing I'm really proud of is being able to work across the aisle and my heartfelt ability to seek truth and to be as independent as I can be. And that's one thing in the paper that I try my best to do because it's really hard. Because for example, I had Representative Ed Deal on the podcast the other day. And then not long before that, I had Commissioner Danielle Bethel on the podcast. Well, that's a Republican. I'm like, oh, sheesh. And then when you do that, when you even have one, people are like, oh, you're a right-wing paper. Or when I have 2 Democrats in a row, oh, you're a left-wing paper. And so I try my best to have a good balance. And so that's just something I'm always aware of. I don't know if I'll ever get it right, but I am going to do my best.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, my apologies. That's my long-winded way of saying that everyone has their own bias and everyone has their own view of the world. But what we can try our best to do is be open-minded, hear people out, and pursue the truth as much as we can. And so that's what I try my best to do. And so, for example, our podcasts are a place where I'm not going to get you. I'm not going to do a gotcha, unless there's something that's blatantly I know for a fact is just not true.
Right.
Then, I'll bring it up. But like, I'm not here to do opera research on you or bring you down. You know, the podcast is a place to share ideas and for you to be able to share truly like flesh out your ideas in long format.
Right.
And then
Which
the articles
can include experiences and opinions
that I don't agree with.
You know?
So while we can't change the fact that we have our own biases but we can do our best. And I'm going to always try to do my best to not have a slant that's tilted one way or other. I'm going to try my best to keep a balance. And for my team. So like I've got like a team of writers, I have a team of like video editors, and you know, I try to make sure that I reinforce that with them as well. That while you have your own bias, let's do our best to make sure that we're really hearing people out and giving them, you know, the light of day.
Yeah. So the way that you run the paper, everything that you just described, the team, you know, what trickles down from you, was it already like that when you and your business partner purchased it?
No.
Or it wasn't? Okay.
Oh, man.
I actually don't really know this. So
okay. Oh, gosh. The Salem Business Journal, we bought it. It was the Wild West is what it was. Not even that. It was chaotic. So we bought the Salem Business Journal from a guy. I don't even want to go into who he is. But we bought the Salem Business Journal from a guy who lived here locally.
Okay.
And a lot of the older generation knows him. I actually never met him in person.
Okay.
Yeah. I just got annoyed one time because he endorsed a candidate who literally ran on my campaign.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Which they got me and the guy were like got along.
Okay.
Yeah. We had no beef.
Okay.
But like, why'd you endorse him and not me?
Yeah.
Like what? Like he literally took the points from my campaign to make his.
No.
Anyways, I had one email that I wrote to him about that. And I was like, dude, what the heck? But outside of that, I never really talked to the guy. But my business partner had. He'd written for the SBJ a couple times in college. When we first bought it, it was just the print paper. There was like an old Facebook page and something you could barely call a website.
Got it.
I think.
Was it like a monthly paper, weekly?
Yeah, it was monthly. Yeah. And when we first bought it, I actually went and delivered the first paper myself. Jesse, the newspaper boy. I literally went. I delivered every copy myself. It took me a long time.
I bet.
And what I did was I took a map and I put this map out and I put a red dot on every single spot that I would deliver the paper. And what I found was most of the Salem Business Journal was downtown and in South Salem.
Okay.
Almost entirely. If our paper claims to represent Marion and Polk County as a whole, why is it only in two small parts of Salem?
Right.
That's kind of crummy.
Right.
And so what I did right off the bat was I started picking out a bunch of locations in East Salem, like Lancaster area, a bunch of spots in Kaiser, and a bunch of spots in West Salem, and just started delivering there.
Yeah.
And now even we have a couple spots out in like the Onslow-Turner area, a couple spots in Dallas and in Woodburn. Not a ton, just because like we really want to make sure that we're taking care of, Salem, Kaiser very well first.
Right.
But at least like getting a couple of them out there to get people a little bit more used to seeing it.
Right. And it does affect surrounding areas. It does, business is done between. They might own other businesses. It's just, you never know.
No, well,
the impact is there.
Yeah. Well, the New York Times, we read it here. We're nowhere near New York.
Right.
It's just, and so what happens here affects all the places around us.
Right.
And so we got to get really good at doing this stuff first before we expand. Every now and then I'll do an article that's countywide, but I try my best to really make sure that I'm representing Salem well.
Yeah. All right. So things were really transformed when you guys purchased it. How did you meet your business partner that you ended up purchasing SBJ from?
Well, me and Jonathan, we've been friends for a long time. I think it was because I got into office when I was like 20, 21 years old. I think I just turned 21. And there wasn't very many of us involved in local politics that were young, at least that I have met. I mean,
right?
Yeah. I mean, there was me, Jonathan, Josh Kay, Bryce Peterson. I'm trying to think. At least I didn't know or run into very many other people. But now there's a lot of people. A lot of young people are stepping up and getting involved. And in fact, after I ran for school board, we had another young kid run for school board 2 years later, which was really cool to see.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't end up winning, but he's still like, he kicked butt, you know, and I was really proud of him because that takes some guts, to step up and run at that age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you also saw across the state, younger people running for offices, which I thought was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. And so me and Jonathan met just from us both being young and involved in politics.
Okay. So he was also, involved in politics.
Yeah. And that's one thing we talked about was, I was... Because, he's Latino and I'm Native American. And so not only were we both in politics, but we both represented a minority,
Mm-hmm.
a minority group that is often underrepresented.
Right.
And,
Yes.
a lot of times, being Native, like I actually got endorsed by my tribe when I ran, which just kind of shows I was representing us well. You know what I mean? And I say that because like a lot of times, like I didn't feel like either party had a place for us.
Mm-hmm.
And, while, race doesn't matter about everything with politics, it matters a little bit because, your
Right.
culture or history.
Yes.
So we would talk a lot about, we just got along really well because, we both were kind of, neither of us really grew up with money. We both kind of grew up poor, and we both wanted to make a name for ourselves, and we were both working really hard. And so we just kind of naturally got along because of that.
Yeah.
And we both would sit around, when you have conversations with people and you're like talking about how to make the world a better place, and we'd always have those talks.
Right.
But, the SBJ became a moment where we could put our money where our mouth is. And so when it became available, because the previous owner had a health condition, he called me up and was like, hey, Jesse, now's kind of our shot to, put our money where our mouth is and have an impact on the community. And
how did you feel when he brought that to you? Did you feel doubt or just excitement? Let's go, or
stressed out.
yeah. Yeah. That stress has probably never gone away.
Yeah. Well, well, I think for me, the reason why it was hard for me was because after I got out of office, I was in my mid-20s. I didn't think I was going to be alive that long. And so, because I went from like homeless to being in office and doing pretty well in life within 3 years.
Right.
And so, like, a lot of people don't realize like it takes a lot of catching up, like mentally and like.
Yeah. Just because it's a better place in life doesn't mean your entire system isn't in shock.
Yes.
Really. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I was eating out of trash cans in downtown Portland, right? 3 years later, I'm at all these fundraiser dinners with people.
Yeah.
Uppity ups,
Yeah.
auctioning off things for way too much money. So like it was a culture shock for me. And it's something where like I've never really felt like I fit in too much. And I would get kind of anxiety
Yes.
when I'd go to a lot of those.
Right.
And so, I just got out of office. And in my time in office, I would say is, historically one of the craziest times to ever be involved in politics or serve in public office.
Yeah.
Things were crazy during COVID, the George Floyd stuff.
Yeah.
Trump got elected. Like during that time period, politics was nuts and nobody made sense.
Yeah.
It was, I mean,
the entire country is the most stressed out been for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just think for me, like I had a mix of anxiety because had I just done what everybody else did and just picked a side and told everyone to kick rocks,
right,
then it would have been a lot easier for me. But I chose the harder path of trying to do what I think was right for kids. And it ended up with both sides firing at me all the time.
Yeah.
So that was hard. On top of that, I was going through a phase of life where I realized that like I didn't think I was going to live to be this old. And all of a sudden it hit me that like I am. And I was like, well, like, what do I do? Like I wouldn't expect to be here. And so I went through like a pretty bad depression for about 4 years, kind of isolated myself from the world. And so then Jonathan comes in here with a business idea of us for me to throw me back in the thick of it. And,
oh my gosh.
I told him to call me back in a couple of days.
And so he did, I assume.
He did.
And you went for it?
Yes, I went for it. I went for it because I knew it was the right thing to do. And I figured if I got a couple more years left on this earth, I may as well, I may as well spend it doing some good things. And there was a time, when I made a promise to a God I didn't believe in yet. I made a promise to God that, if I made it, I would come back and help kids who grew up like me. And, I got to hold up my end of the deal.
Yeah. So you both decided to buy this paper. The person that owned it, you knew he was having health problems. Had he listed it for sale somewhere, or you just heard through connections that he wanted to sell it? Or?
Yeah, well, he knew Jonathan personally.
Okay.
And so, they had talked to each other, and he offered it to Jonathan first because, he was kind of kicking butt in the world, and they just knew each other personally, and so he called him up.
Yeah. And then how does purchasing a business happen? Does it get appraised first, or is there just simply the the owner sets an amount, or is it just straight across, just take it over, or?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, there's a couple ways to do it. Typically, like when it gets appraised, it would be a bigger business than what we were buying. I mean, I guess we could have appraised it, but I mean, we weren't buying a $1 million business.
Right. Like you could kind of calculate it yourself. You could kind of appraise it yourself.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, it was valued at, I don't know, less than 100,000, and so like, it wasn't like a huge rainmaker or anything. And so what we did is, luckily I was in business school. And so the way that I viewed this business, I considered it tuition.
Okay.
I was like, well, maybe it'll fail, but at least I'm going to learn some stuff.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I looked at it. And it gave me the chance to use a lot of things that I'm learning in the MBA program and apply it to the real world. And for me, I'm not a very good student. And so that would be the way that I could learn the best.
Yeah.
Was by, hitting things with a hammer.
Yeah.
And so the way you could value it, and it was kind of hard to value the paper. I mean, it did okay. It was making okay money, but it needed a lot of love and a lot of work.
Right. Was it similar to just essentially looking at a P&L sheet and then just determining it from there?
You can, but it's also kind of hard to value because like a lot of times people will place value in the name and the brand of something.
Oh, yeah.
So for example, the Salem Business Journal's brand has been around for a long time. And so like its name itself has value outside of just income.
Right.
But mostly income. I mean, for me personally, a lot of it comes down to, does it make money? And does it make sense to do? But most importantly for me, and here's the biggest one for me, was, is this something I can be passionate about? Because like, if I don't give a crap about it, I don't want to do it. Like I got offered to buy like an ice cream shop in Salem about a year ago. I didn't do it because I don't care about ice cream, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I have to be passionate about what it is. If there's a way I was able to tie it in, then I would do it. But like I need the stakes to be, stakes to be high for me to care.
Right. So during the time of purchasing it with Jonathan, just that initial beginning stage, is there anything that you wish that you would have done different or that you learned?
For sure.
Both.
Yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, one of them was, part of it is we did get a little bit lucky. But at the same time, the previous owner of the SBJ, he was running around town giving people business cards, telling them that he owned the dairy lunch, Court Street Dairy Lunch. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So he was managing that store while the owner of the store was going through chemo and like dying of cancer. And he was running around with business cards that said owner. So we all thought he was the owner of this place. Turns out he agreed with her that he was just going to manage the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So what actually ended up happening is he put that small business, into a bunch of debt and then ran off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we got lucky in the fact that we didn't get straight up scammed.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And a lot of the contracts didn't look the way we thought they were going to. And so, I mean, that would be one thing, is like we could have spent a lot more time really digging into it and making sure what was on paper matched what was in reality. Right. That's one thing that we could have done a better job at. We got lucky in the fact it didn't hurt us too bad, but we definitely could have. Like, it would have been really nice to know, where exactly does the paper get delivered, instead of me having to go deliver it myself. Right. So like, now I track where I send it. So if I ever sold the business, I can show people exactly who I send it to, who reads it, what our demographic is. Or like, I know everything about the business. Right. He was shooting from the hip. And so we bought a business from a guy who didn't know everything about his business, which means we were buying a business that we didn't know everything about. Yeah. And so there's high risk to that. Right. I would not do that again. Yeah. The way that we did it.
Yeah. What would you do if you were to do it again? Like, ask him to put in the work to bring all of that to light? Or,
otherwise it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he's just going to hand it to me, which he's not going to do. But.
Right. What about legal representation? Did you use attorneys? Would you recommend attorneys?
If
someone was to do this.
I didn't. And I mean, I would. It depends on how big the business is. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's small enough and if it's something you're confident in your own abilities in, like I'm not a lawyer, but I think I'm pretty good at reading legal documents and understanding them, just because I have a huge background. I mean, I've got 9 years of policy work background, and at the time I had 5 years, 5 years. Right. And so like, I'm pretty good at reading them, but your average person probably looks at it and the way it's written even is so boring and awful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you should. I mean,
just hire someone.
Yeah.
For the most people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I would advise people to do it. Just as a realtor, we have to advise people to get inspections.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
in this time, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I doubt it would cost that much to have somebody look at it.
Right.
So
yeah.
I probably would.
Be worth it. Yeah. Well, there's many more aspects of how you run your business that we could talk about. I figure we'll focus on one more part of it today. And next time you come back, we can talk about more because you're so good with so many things as far as like the operations of your business and with your staff and everything. But just to kind of close out, like, you know, the story of you purchasing the paper. I'd love to hear a little more about things you learned as you began to change things. Did you go in and, you know, because I've heard warnings of when you take something over, whether it's managing a department or purchasing, don't go flip everything on its head because they can turn, you know, anyone you're managing can turn it against you. Yeah. But is that sometimes necessary? How did it go for you? How did that go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily, a lot of the staff liked me already. Yeah. I mean, that's been something that I'm still learning, you know, I mean, because I went from, it was just me and Jonathan running it to where, and then we got a part-time admin to help us out. And then, you know, and now I have a team of 6 and myself, and they're excellent. I mean, they work hard. And they're constantly learning. In fact, I try to have a culture of, I would rather have them be innovative and try to push things than create new. But then like if they like make a mistake, as in like they forget to turn something in or something like that, then like there's some forgiveness there.
Right.
We don't have forgiveness in typos and factual things being incorrect because we're paper. It's
and that's avoidable.
Yes, 100%. So completely avoidable mistakes, we are pretty good at making sure we get done. So I hold them accountable. But then when we're on the creative side, so when we're on the logistics side, we don't room for error. We don't room for mistakes.
Got it.
When we're on the creative side, I want them to try new things and make mistakes. Like they sent us the video of for the jukebox podcast. Remember?
Yeah.
And they messed it up.
It wasn't our vision.
Yes, it was.
But it's like they weren't like in trouble. It's
no,
like,
of course.
Oh, no. Here, let me give you more information.
Yeah.
And
it was good,
see
though.
What you do. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a good job on it. And that's something
because creativity is kind of like, it's different for everybody, the results, you know? And so.
When it's really subjective.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But that's one thing that I've learned way more of this year than I had before. Because before with me and Jonathan, we had one full-timer and then we had one part-time person who would do graphics for us every now and then. And going from that to a whole team was pretty difficult.
Right.
Now, taking over the business and changing things to the way I needed it was difficult in the sense of one of the 2 staff I had to let go. So that's a 50%, but there's only 2 people.
Right.
The other person adjusted.
Okay.
And he's a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's timely. I can always trust that when I ask him to do something, he's going to do it, which is super nice. And then the other person just couldn't handle change very well.
Right.
And unfortunately, it didn't seem like it was going to be a good fit in the long run. So, but now, you know, I think that's the one thing I have done really well is having good staff.
Yeah.
The only thing is, you know, having the team can be stressful simply because of the costs. So the cost of having a team is a lot more than me doing everything myself. But I don't have the time in the day to do everything myself.
Right.
So therefore I have a team.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's why owning a business is so difficult for so many, especially like at the earlier mid stages, because that's a lot of money running through for your staff and for operating it. And a lot of times not much left for the business owner.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there was a good chunk of months where I just wasn't collecting anything.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, you remember these. I was like, man, like I was paying everybody else except for myself.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's going to resonate with probably most people listening to this. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also and there's also the gravity of like during the phase of, you know, even from January to now of like when I became 100% owner of the business, really getting to know my staff and like one of my guys, you know, ended up having a baby and realizing that like, you know, he's relying on this job in order to pay his bills for his family and that kid and his wife. And the weight of that and the gravity of that kind of weighs on you.
Yeah.
You know, and then I had another girl, I remember Christina, I would tell her every day, I was like, you should be making six figures somewhere else.
I know.
But I was really glad.
Amazing.
I was really glad she was with me, but I was like, you could be making a lot of money somewhere. And now she does.
Yeah.
So she
bittersweet.
She was so sad calling me. She was like, Jesse,
Uh-huh.
she's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, and she was like, she was like crying. And, but that was like it was so cool for me to be able to share that moment with her because I got to know that like I was an instrumental part of her growth.
Right. Yeah.
And that's something I'll always be able to think back to. And so like, I'm super proud of, her for her growth or him for having his kid or for any of my, anybody else on my team. Cause like they each show up every day and they work really hard. And sometimes I can be a pain in the butt, to be honest, but
I can't see that.
I just like to stress everybody out. No, but I'm super thankful for my staff. And I think that's been the key ingredient to everything we've been doing is, we have a really good team like, internally and externally, like like between like you and Katsali and Savvy, hosting the podcast or my writers or a lot of our partners. I mean, we're really fortunate to have a lot of support behind us. And so now it's, my responsibility to make sure that we get people the news.
Well, it's a heavy weight on leaders, but you do a wonderful job and it's a testament to your leadership. So
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, before we close out, what is one piece of advice that you have to somebody, any business owner that is thinking of acquiring or purchasing a business? Because that is a big journey, as we've all just heard. So,
yeah. Well, I think two aspects. One of them would be, do your homework. Really dig through the financials. If you haven't taken a forensic accounting class or like if you don't have a background in finance, then I would, maybe have a professional look at them or like have a second set of eyes.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I would really dig through and get to know the business before you purchase it. And the second thing I would say is, making sure it's something that you're going to love doing because it's hard. Not collecting a paycheck sucks.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some
You might as well enjoy it.
Yeah. We have to. Like, you have to genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, luckily we have a great time.
We do. Yeah.
But it's even better when you're able to do something you enjoy and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
That's the secret sauce.
That's great.
And I think the third part is, I think not being afraid of work. I think that's probably my biggest advice, actually, now that I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about this. In the business world, there's everyone and their mom thinks that they're a visionary, right? There's the two people that really get me. It's like people who are like the visionaries or like the idea guys.
Right.
And a lot of times those are people who like just don't do anything. And like they just talk about ideas, but then like when someone implements their ideas, they're like, "Oh, that was my idea," but like it doesn't matter because you didn't do it. And so Steve Jobs said it best. I'm not quoting him directly because I don't want to misquote it, but he said he was talking about these guys, the visionaries, the idea guys, and what he said was the best idea guys are the doers. The doers are the best idea guys.
Yeah,
because the idea doesn't freaking matter unless it gets done. And that's why for me, when I got the SBJ, right, when I was younger, I was an idea guy. I'm a visionary. And now I have the same visions. I have the same ideas. I just do it. And I don't talk about it unless it's something I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, you sent me another video one time as well, probably Steve Jobs or somebody else. And because we had been talking about it a lot. And so we were sending each other videos about it. And it was something like a visionary without implementation is just a dreamer.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, it's amazing to have a vision, have a dream,
totally.
have a big goal. But if you don't have a plan to back it up, and not only just have a plan, but you actually back it up and you actually integrate it, then you're just a dreamer. Yeah,
exactly. And that's one thing I wanted to be really careful of because when I was younger, I would spew off all these ideas of how I can make the world better. And then you kind of get tagged as someone who's like that. You get tagged as, well, nobody takes you seriously.
Right.
And that's one thing I really wanted to make sure that I did with the SBJ, especially when I acquired the full thing, was make sure that people know that when I say I'm going to do something, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And we've done that with everything from our crazy idea of starting multiple podcasts to our crazy idea of throwing a selfie museum inside of an abandoned mall.
Yes.
To our, all these other crazy ideas that are fun and good for the community.
Yeah.
And so I'd say that's my number one lesson that I would give to any business owner is cut the dreaming and just do.
Yeah.
Because even if you screw up, you're going to learn from it. You're going to fix it and just keep going. No one's going to remember the details.
That's right.
They're going to see you as you are currently. Nobody cares about your dreams.
Yeah.
It's harsh to hear, but it's true.
I would say that's accurate. No one cares about your dreams. What they care about is when you make the vision
if it's
a reality.
A vision. Yeah. Because I guess like a vision would be a dream that like you actually have steps to take.
Yeah.
And then the goals to get there. So I guess a vision is a dream with goals. And then people start caring once they start running towards the goals of the vision.
Yeah.
I think that's when people start to care. And so I think with the SBJ, we've had the vision. It started with a dream and nobody cared. And then now we have the vision.
Yep.
We have goals. And they see us running towards our goal. And that's why we've been picking up some pretty good steam.
Yeah, that's right. It's been fun to see. You are taking one foot, you actually have been putting one foot in front of the other and taking that action. It's fun to see. So, yeah. Well, I'm excited to have you back to talk about maybe another portion of your business sometime.
Hopefully
because there's a lot more to unpack with all you do.
Jordan, I will always chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You got it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. And thank you to Hotel Salem for sponsoring this episode.